China reportedly restricting sales to Russia of tools needed for missile production. China has restricted sales to Russia of specific tools needed in the production of missiles, engines, and precision-guided weapon systems, our report has alleged. So wait, China's actually clamping on Russia for once? Has the China-Russia cooperation broken down? Holy crap, I don't believe this. I cannot believe this. That would be such a joyous occasion if China actually stopped with the cooperation with Russia bullshit. That would be something to behold. Let's get into the details. That makes me, I don't know. I'm cynical, so let's not get too excited too fast. There has to be a catch. Probably is a catch. Isn't there? Some weird catch to all this. US news website Newsweek reported that Beijing has reduced exports of high-precision machine tools to Moscow, possibly indicating that US sanctions are limiting Russia's ability to wage war. So, for all the people that say that sanctions are not doing anything, they absolutely are doing something. Even though Russia is doing its best to bypass them, they definitely are hurting Russia. Russia without sanctions would have been a totally different Russia than the one that is sanctioned. Newsweek was citing information released by Mashtak, a Russian outlet that reports on the manufacturing industry in Russia. The owner of a Russian machine tool company, Ildar Nuriev, told Mashtak that China has restricted the supply of high-tech equipment. Before, it was possible to obtain machines with an accuracy of 3 to 4 microns. Now it's no longer possible. A special export license is required. A special export license is required. The machinery affected is critical for the production of missile and engine components and precision-guided systems, reported Newsweek. Well, thank God, because we've been slammed with missiles today. Okay, 70% of the city has lost electricity, so the less Russia is able to build missiles, the better. Over the past 2 years, it has become clear to me that you can be friends with everyone, but you need to rely on yourself, Nuriev added. Aww. If you want to count on somebody, count on yourself. Pro-Russian neutrality. That is true. There has been a big amount of pro-Russian neutrality thus far, hasn't there? China has provided the Kremlin with substantial economic and diplomatic support in its ongoing war in Ukraine, but has stopped short of fully and publicly backing Russian President Vladimir Putin's special military operation. Plus, China has denied any sort of support for Russia. So whatever support it has been giving Putin, it has been doing it under the table, so to speak. It has been doing under the table, definitely. Some analysts have described this strategy as pro-Russian neutrality and demonstrates Beijing's ability to deftly walk in line between subversion of the West and avoiding the international ostracism that Moscow has suffered as a result of its 2022 invasion of Ukraine. In other words, China is smarter about its politics than Russia, to put it bluntly. China knows how to play the game, and Russia does not. If we are to be cold, calculating realists in the world of international relations. Kyiv and Washington have previously said that Russia's war effort makes use of intelligence supplied by Beijing, with a recent report alleging that Chinese satellites, I have heard about this, helped identify Ukrainian targets for Russian drone and missile strikes, like energy infrastructure, for example, something that has been targeted in tonight's strike, thanks to which 70% of Kyiv has lost electricity. Also, I would like to remind everyone here watching that thanks to Russian attacks, I think 60% of Ukraine's gas capacity has been crippled, which means that Ukraine will have to import a lot more gas this winter. Moscow has also become increasingly reliant on China for revenue before being forced to sell energy to Beijing at cheaper prices after Europe largely weaned itself off of Russian gas in the years following Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Trade between Russia and China has fallen in recent months, according to Newsweek, dropping almost 9% in the first 8 months of 2025 compared to the same period last year. So I guess the China-Russia relations are not going as swimmingly as they were going before. Vladimir says, nice. Now I can enjoy Lucy's stream without spoilers. That's true. Thank you, Vladimir. Now we can bond over the horrible situation in the war. Also consider joining the page, as always. Chinese oil purchases from Russia have also fallen by 11% between January and May, the outlet reported, citing a report from the Moscow Times. That must hurt. If only the international community would have cracked down on the shadow fleet as well. But you know what? That sort of thing definitely hurts Russia a lot, and it hinders its ability to wage the war.